What's up, Transit? How are we doing this morning, guys? Okay, I'll take it. Did we have a good spring break? Yes, raise of hands who went out of town. Amazing. Who stayed in town and just slept and had the best week ever? Yes, incredible. Both of those are my people. I love staying in and relaxing, and I also love going on vacation. But I'm so glad that you're back and that you chose to be here at Transit this morning. For those of you that I have not had the chance to meet yet, my name is Ashlyn, and I'm pumped that you're here. And if it's your very first time with us, welcome to Transit. I hope that you have had the best time playing games and singing songs and that you'll really enjoy the small group that you get to join today. And we really, really, really hope that you want to come back. Because it's people like you that truly make Transit the absolute best place to be on a Sunday morning. And it's very fitting that we are starting this new series called No Place Better. And this is something that I wholeheartedly believe about Transit, and I hope that you believe about Transit, and then I hope that your friends that maybe haven't even been here before would come to believe about Transit. And the cool thing is that each and every one of you in this room actually has the power to influence what other people believe. Now, you may be sitting here going, Ashlyn, I don't think that I actually have that power. I'm not necessarily the coolest kid in school. I'm not an influencer on social media by any means. People won't necessarily pay attention to what I say. But I would challenge you to think a little bit differently, because if you think about how life kind of works right now, when it comes to things that you are wearing or things that you're doing, maybe it's movies you're watching, concerts you're going to, sports you're playing, a lot of our decisions come because of the influence of other people in our lives. And so they have influence over what you do. You have influence over what they do. And there's a lot of power in that. And I think back to my middle school experience, and my friends and peers had a lot of power over some decisions that I made, specifically in the fashion department. Now, there were some tough trends that went around. I look back and I'm like, my goodness, I was really rocking these styles. But I want to introduce you to some of them. Some of you may know, some of you may not know, but my first picture up here is this pair of shoes. Toms, anybody? No hate if you still love these and love to wear them. However, please, someone, what about this is attractive? What about this is cool? I mean, it kind of looks like an ace bandage wrapped around your foot. But I loved them. I thought they were so cool. I was pumped the Christmas that my parents gifted them to me. I mean, I opened them, immediately put them on my feet, and wearing them out and around everywhere. But I just don't get it now. But it was for sure a trend that was happening, at least when I was in middle school. Maybe still is now. But then here's another picture. Yeah, tough. Not just plaid shorts, but patched plaid. And they're as long as they look, so literally came down to my knees. These were the thing. And you got them in so many different colors, in so many different plaid patterns. I probably had 10 pairs of these shorts, and I'm embarrassed to say that I wore them, but I thought they were awesome. And then to top it off, here was a shirt that, at least for the girls that were my friends, we loved these. Anytime we would go to the mall together and hang out, we'd go to Aeropostale. I don't even know, I guess this store still exists. We'd go to Aeropostale and get these t-shirts, and the font kind of varied from time to time of what it looked like, but more or less like this. And then what was the best ever is when you took this shirt, those shorts, and those shoes, and you put them all together, and I mean, that was the fit. I'm telling you, you were cool stuff if that is what you were wearing. But I think about it now and I'm like, I looked awful. I can't believe that I wanted those items. I can't believe that my mom let me out of the house with those items on. And I think to myself, why? Why did I want to wear those? Why did I do that? And it's because of the people around me. My friends, the people I thought that were cool, the people that I wanted to be like, they were saying, hey, we love these items. We're excited about these items. You got to try these out. And so for me, it became worth it to jump on the trend, to give it a shot, to experience what it was like to have that atrocious combination of shirt, shorts, and shoes. But it was worth it because of the people around me and the influence that they had over me. And I know that's true for each and every one of you as well. It really is true that the people around us, they influence us. The people around us influence us, and maybe not necessarily just all in like a fashion trend, but things that you like, things that you dislike, foods that you try, maybe vacations you go on. Who we're surrounding ourselves with have the power to influence us. But this goes so much farther than just these material items, than these superficial items. No, this actually comes into play regarding your faith too. Just as much people around us have the power to influence some of those other decisions that we make, the people around us have the power to influence our faith. You have the power to influence other people's faith. But different than some of the material and superficial things, it feels a little bit maybe intimidating or daunting to talk about our faith. Truth is, the idea of sharing our faith is just scary. The idea of sharing our faith can be scary. And I think that's because faith is something that is so personal to us. And so if we're willing to be open and vulnerable about a very personal part of us, there's a bigger risk involved. What if the people that we are talking about this with reject us or make fun of us? Or maybe as we're trying to explain something like our faith, it just doesn't really make sense to them. It's too complicated at first for them to wrap their minds around, so they inevitably have a lot of questions. And you're like, I don't want to put myself in this position where I'm going to get questions that I don't know how to answer. I don't want to look like a fool. I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to be made fun of. And so we can often just talk about our faith where it feels safe. Maybe it's here in your small group at Transit, which is awesome. That's an amazing place to talk about your faith. But have you ever thought about taking it outside of Transit as well? And so this morning, that really is my challenge to you. And my challenge is for us to think about this a little bit differently. And so we're going to look at a book in the Bible called 1 Peter. That's written by a guy named Peter. But the important thing about him is, one, he was a disciple of Jesus. He did life with Jesus. He learned from Jesus. He believed that it was worth it to follow Jesus. And then as a result, he actually faced a good amount of persecution, of people rejecting him, people making fun of him, of people hurting him. And yet he still decides to write this book or this letter to a group of people who would have been experiencing a lot of the same. And so if anyone to get that sharing your faith is scary, it's these people. So I want you to lean in with me and look at what he has to say. It says in 1 Peter 3:15, but in your hearts, revere Christ as Lord. Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have. But do this with gentleness and respect. And so in this moment, he's writing to this group of people, and he's saying, hey, first and foremost, I want you to revere Christ as Lord, which is really just a fancy way of saying, hey, I want you to respect Jesus Christ. I want you to honor Jesus Christ. I want you to believe that he is Lord of your life, that he is worth living for, that he is worth following. And I would beg to say a lot of you in here really do believe that. That's probably a big part of why you come to Transit on a Sunday. Yes, to have so much fun and hang out with your friends. But you're also here because you believe that your faith is important and you believe that getting to know Jesus better is important. And so he's saying, hey, I want you to revere him as Lord. And if that is the case, if you are those people, then you have to always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you, to give the reason for the hope that you have. And this can sound scary at first too. To give an answer, you're like, wait a second, like, I don't know if I have an answer to all these questions. I don't have an answer for why difficult things happen in life when they don't add up and they don't make sense. I don't have an answer for how God exists. I don't have an answer for bigger theological, it's a big term, but bigger theological concepts of what we believe about God, what we believe about the world. I don't know everything that I need to know to give an answer to these people, but if you look closely, that's not what Peter's asking you to do. No, he's asking you to give an answer for the hope that you have. The hope that you have. Because if you're a follower of Jesus, you have a Jesus and a God who love you, who are for you, who will be with you no matter what is happening in life, who will listen to you no matter what is happening in life, who you can lean on no matter what is happening in life. And when you get to walk through difficult circumstances in life with a good God by your side, it inevitably brings hope. You will walk through life with more hope and peace and joy in circumstances that everyone else would look in and say, there's no way they could be feeling that way. But because of Jesus with you, it's possible. And so what Peter is saying is, hey, this hope is going to be in you if you are a follower of God. And I want you to be able to tell people about it. Tell people why you feel this way. Tell people where that hope comes from. But he says to do it with gentleness and respect. To tell people about Jesus, to tell people about this hope with gentleness and respect. Because sometimes, if we're not careful, when we think that we have all the right answers, when we think that we are in the right, when we think that people should be living life like us, we can sometimes approach them with pride. And so these people that live differently than us, that think differently than us, sometimes it can be easy for us to be prideful and judgmental towards them. And in that moment, you are putting up a barrier between them and actually getting to experience the hope of Jesus. And so Peter is saying, hey, no. I want you to tell them about it, but be gentle and respectful. Be kind and humble. Make it to where you are actually removing the barriers where people want to know more about you. They want to know more about the hope that you have. They want to know more about the God that you serve and how he shows up for you. So you remove those barriers, you remove those hurdles. Because it's true that people are going to notice the hope that we have. You may not even realize it. People are observing you from afar, and they notice that there's something different about you. And I want you guys to listen to what Peter had to say and be willing to talk about it. Be willing to welcome these people in with open arms, to be kind and gentle and respectful to them, because it's so worth it. And if Peter, of all people, is willing to write about this and say, hey, you should do this because it's worth it, I think it's at least worth us giving it a shot. But I know it can be scary. I know it can be intimidating. And so here at Transit, we want to make this really easy for y'all in the next few weeks. You just heard earlier how we have this amazing event called Double Dog coming up. The actual event, Double Dog, is happening on April 21st. But it's the night of April 20th that you can get together with your friends at one of your houses, and you have a blast completing these dares. And then you show up to Transit the next morning. And there's amazing awards and prizes that are giving out, fun games that are played. What better Sunday to invite a friend here? Because they just get to come and have a good time. They get to come and laugh and be joyful and enjoy time with friends. But along with being here for all of the fun that Double Dog has to offer, they're also going to get to hear about Jesus. They're going to get to hear about the hope that he offers. They're going to get to see why this place is important to you. Why this place is somewhere that you show up every Sunday. And so my challenge to you this week is to think of one friend. One friend that doesn't come to Transit, one friend that needs that hope, one friend that needs to experience a community like this where they know that they matter and that they belong. And I want you to ask them, whether that's in person or a text, a phone call, a snap. I want you to take that step of courage and invite them here on this Sunday. Because as much as Jesus has changed your life, he can change the lives of the people around you too, and I would hate for them to miss out on that because you weren't willing to send one simple text. And so in just a few minutes, you're going to get to go to small group and you're going to get to talk about this. And you can talk about those hesitations and those fears and those doubts that you may have of bringing people here. But the cool thing is that you as a small group can rally around each other and encourage each other as you all go out into your schools this week and you invite people here to Transit. And so I'm excited for what this small group conversation can mean for you today. But as you go to group, I want you to be thinking about this question. What do you hope is the first thing that people notice about you? What do you hope is the first thing that people notice about you? So let me pray for us, and you'll be dismissed. God, I thank you so much for this day. I thank you for all of the students here at Transit this morning. God, whether it is their very first time here or it is their 100th time here, I'm so glad that they came. And I want each and every one of them to go out this week and invite someone here. Because there's nothing better than getting to be at a place like Transit where we know that we matter and that we belong. We get to have so much fun and we get to know you better. A God who loves us and is for us. So I ask that you would be with their small group conversations today, that you would allow them to be open and to be honest, and that they would come together as a small group and be excited about bringing people here, and that double dog would be the best double dog yet. And so I thank you for who you are to us. I thank you for what you've done for us. In your name I pray, amen. Y'all are dismissed.